Then question 2, part B, required that the candidates should explain Douglas McGregor's theory of the assumptions that managers have on their workers and its relevance to human resource management. Human resource management. This question had 10 marks. So in this question, the examiner wants the candidate to explain Douglas McGregor's theory of the assumptions that managers have on their workers and its relevance to human resource management. The question had 10 marks. It is important to note that Douglas McGregor had a theory that he called Douglas McGregor called theory X and theory Y. Now, these theory X and theory Y were assumptions that, according to McGregor, managers would have about their employees. And once managers had this on their employees, managers used these theories or these assumptions to make decisions about their employees. And that is how they tended to manage these workers. So we look at this question in 3 parts. We look at this in terms of theory X assumptions. Then we will look at theory Y assumptions. Then we will look at the relevance of this theory to human resource management. In the study of Douglas McGregor observed that there are certain managers who may have certain assumptions that, one, workers are inherently lazy. Workers are inherently lazy and they don't want to work. These workers too don't have no interest in work. And according to McGregor, because these workers have no interest in work, these workers require to be coerced. Coercion should be used to make sure that these employees can be able to work. So coercion was expected, according to McGregor, where managers who had this kind of assumption argued that workers are also not self-directed. And number 5, avoidance of work. What this implies is that, according to McGregor, those managers who had the theory X assumptions about employees argued that workers are not self-directed. And then they argued that workers would seek any opportunity to avoid work. Any reasons could pass that they are not able to work. But then Douglas McGregor also observed that in relation to previous also some theories, that there is the theory X and there is also the theory Y assumptions. Now, these theory Y assumptions is a direct opposite of what we have in theory X assumptions, and in the theory Y assumptions is the opposite. Managers now view employees in a different angle. We could be able to look at this on this side, theory Y assumptions. Now, according to Douglas McGregor, those managers who viewed employees from the theory Y assumptions, those managers argued that employees are not inherently lazy, but employees like work. Employees like work. Employees can be self-directed, self-regulated. Employees, if conditions are good, can seek extra responsibilities, and given a conducive working environment, employees can be creative, and employees take work as a way of life. So what this implies is that the theory Y assumptions, managers who viewed workers could argue that workers like work, depending on the conditions that have been created. Workers are self-regulated. Workers will seek extra responsibilities given a conducive working environment, and workers are creative, and workers will take work as a way of life, and they would be able to contribute towards organizational objectives. So looking at these contrasting views, McGregor then argued that when it comes to a work environment in the real sense, the theory Y assumptions are those that managers who want to create a good working environment can be able to use, as opposed to theory X assumptions. And this brings us to the relevance of Douglas McGregor's theory to human resource management. So why is this useful to human resource management? So firstly, what human resource managers can do, or human resource management can do, is the creation of right or appropriate working conditions. Creation of the right or appropriate working conditions within an organization to be able to get workers work, to be able to get workers to be motivated. Secondly, this is the humanistic view of motivation. Employees are human beings, and sometimes if proper working conditions are not created, they will react naturally as human beings, and this is the humanistic view of looking at workers within a working environment in the context of motivation. Thirdly, work facilities and equipment. Human resource management can learn that employees are able to work only if work facilities and equipments are made available to them for purposes of optimum utilization of the workforce. Fourthly, rewards. What this motivation theory teaches us is that employees can be rewarded, and these rewards can be intrinsic and extrinsic. Like in this case, workers are saying they can seek, they are self-regulating, they can seek extra responsibilities, but the appropriate conditions have to be put in place. And in this case, for rewards, it then means if workers are taking work like a way of life, they are taking work to be a creative venture, then the job should be designed in such a way that they can provide intrinsic and extrinsic rewards to workers to be able to work. Then fifthly, context. What the theory brings out is that human resource management should be able to manage workers, motivate workers in the context of the work they do. And what this means is that employees who work in an operational area, employees who work in the field, employees who work in the office, we cannot be able to use a cross-cutting motivation approach to all those workers at the same time. Context must be put in place in relation to the kind of motivation that we need to put our workers through, hence enhancing motivation. And this is the relevance of Douglas McGregor's theory to human resource management, where it can be used to facilitate performance.